Welcome, Ankur, to another success story interview. Congratulations on your 97th percentile 740 score on the GMAT. How do you feel?
I feel great. I mean, I feel really it's unbelievable. I mean, it's been exactly a month since I've got that score, and it's really amazing to get past the GMAT journey. So it has been a very difficult journey for me, and it's a like bittersweet moment when I got that score. So it feels really super proud of my score that I've got.
Got it. So let's talk about your journey. So you started off in 2019 and you scored
Right.
a 680. Then you scored a 650 the same year that you canceled. And then you
Mhm.
eventually improved to a
Right.
690 in 2020 after using the course for a bit, right? And then eventually 690 to 740
Right.
with me and the LM program. Now take me
So,
through your journey, right? So you were studying alone for the
mhm.
680 and the 650 attempt. How was that like? What exactly were you doing?
Yeah, so it was during my self preparation. It was a lot of times collating study material from many sources, probably somewhere some reference from a friend or some reference from a GMAT club. So it was about collating all those study material that I could get, and OG as well.
Hmm.
So it was just about going through those study material and those concepts. So it was pretty much very, I would say, scattered in some sense. So it was about picking up all the good things that I could get or I could collect from many places. And it was yeah, so it was because I was self-studying, so there was no bar to measure where I'm going. Like, is it like is there a proper plan to what which I'm following? So it
Hmm.
was about just going through the concepts and then just practicing or giving one or two mocks and then seeing where I'm going getting wrong.
Hmm.
So there's no, I would say, it was quite unstructured in some way.
Got it. Got it. So there's given essentially there's no benchmark to measure whether you're doing the right thing or you're not doing the right
Right,
thing,
right,
that kind of thing. I
right,
get that. I understand. So I think it is after your 650 score where you figure, listen, I need to change the way I'm looking at things. And
right.
of course, that's when you signed up for e-GMAT. So what kind of research did you do before you found the right course for you?
Yeah, so I see that a lot of prep companies, they do these sort of webinars over the weekend. Or
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I see that e-GMAT has been conducting them every weekend.
Yeah.
So initially, I thought of them as some sort of marketing material.
Yeah.
But when I actually attended those sessions, I could see like what is the, and now in hindsight, when I've done that course, I could see that all those things that were taught in those sessions, they were really helpful. I
They
mean, they
come
were
from the course,
different to,
by the way.
they come from the course itself, right? So it's not like they're not the real thing. You cannot pass on them as something that's only for popularizing their course. So
Yeah.
I think I attended a lot of those sessions and
Hmm.
other companies as well,
Yeah.
and I really found that e-GMAT's approach was a lot better, a lot methodical to the concepts that are tested on the GMAT. And
Hmm.
also, definitely, the reviews were also really good. I felt I went through the GMAT club. The reviews were amazing. I mean, you read all those success stories, and when you're struggling with your own score, and you see, okay, this was maybe the difference which helped them to their reach their dream score. So
Hmm.
at that point of time, I decided, okay, fine, I think I can probably go with this, go with e-GMAT for my GMAT journey.
Hmm. I've
So
actually
that
been
was pretty
talking
much my
to,
research.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
actually been talking to a lot of people on, how do they decide what they want to do with their GMAT prep, what to go for? And I think these two things, the review bit and the free sessions bit really comes out for e-GMAT and says that you guys are just top of the
Right.
pops when it comes to both of these things. Now you join the
Right.
e-GMAT course and you organically, and this is you just using the course improved from a 650 to a 690 as well, right? So take me
Right.
through what kind of worked for you in the course because your verbal improved 4 points there. What happened? What changed?
Yeah, so I think when I talking about that 650 score or the 680 score, and my own comfort level with the topics that are being tested. So
Yeah.
I felt, being coming from an engineering background, I was pretty comfortable with the quant section.
Hmm.
I thought maybe a bit of practice, I would be able to get past that
Right.
good score in quant. But I thought like verbal was really my Achilles heel, you can say,
Yeah.
and I was just not able to move past that V35 or V34 level.
Yeah.
So I think I focused a lot on the verbal section when I started with the e-GMAT, and I just like really try to imbibe that meaning based approach. So that was one thing that got me attracted towards the e-GMAT, because that was about doing things a little bit differently for me this time. So especially that understanding the meaning of the question stem, not just in SC but also in CR and other sections as well. So that was a different approach that I started taking in. So
Hmm.
I was a lot more it's a lot more introspective towards the question stem, a lot more respectful, you can say, towards the question stem. I was not just rushing to the answers. So I
Yeah.
was thinking more about the questions.
Got it.
That was a big change for me when I started the e-GMAT. And that reflected, although I didn't get a score the first time when I started working with the e-GMAT, just because I was doing it on my own. But my verbal score improved a lot
Hmm.
because I had focused a lot on it, and improved by 4 points, as you said. So it
Yeah.
improved
Yeah.
till V38. Yep.
That's actually a lot, V34 to V38 organically, just doing a course just by yourself. That
Right.
just shows that you were
Just by
diligent.
doing the
Yeah.
course.
Like you were
Right.
diligent
Right.
with it yourself. And I think you've mentioned a very, very nice point that giving respect to the question is so important, because the one thing that all of us are
Mm,
kind of tuned to do is, if there are options, forget the
mm,
question, just jump into the options and mark what you can see is right. And that's
absolutely.
that's
So.
that's what we do all the time. Now, having said that,
Mm,
your CR was, I think, at the 61st percentile. And that's, I think, one
right.
thing that you really, that was your verbal Achilles heel. So in verbal, that was your
Right.
Achilles
Right.
heel. Talk to me about how the e-GMAT course kind of talks about CR and what you learned from it.
Yeah. So I think the verbal course covers all the topics of CR pretty well. I mean, there are
Hmm.
so many different topics, and it really focuses down, drills down the different question types within those topics. So, for example, I would say, let's say there's an assumption-based question. So the course has a separate module for those quantity-based questions, wherein the CR is testing your some sort of how you're applying those logic skills to those quantities.
Hmm.
And there are so many sub different types within each section, and you get to learn on those, not only learn on those. So there are application files which helps you to apply those whatever you have learned into that course at that point of time itself,
Hmm.
right? So I haven't even reached attempting the questions, and I'm already applying those concepts. So, and the most important thing definitely was the pre-thinking part. So again, it's about spending a lot of time with the question. So I started doing that. Like used to spend at least a minute with the question. Forget about the answers. I just spent a lot of time comprehending that question, what that question is really asking, and a pre-thinking approach really, forced me to think about what are the possible answers,
Hmm.
what can be the possible answers. So I started thinking about those before even going to the answer choices. So
Got it.
once I did that, I could easily click see through what are the answer choices that are just traps, or what are that they are just not right, they just don't
Hmm.
belong here. So
Understood.
that was how CR section helped me,
Got it.
CR course.
Got it. Now, you've scored a 690 and you were at a certain point and you were wondering, okay, where do I go from here? Because you had scored a
Mhm.
680 in 2019 as well. And you would have been wondering, I'm basically just improved 10 points. What's the whole point of this entire
Right.
thing? And I think you scored a Q47, and there was definitely
Mhm.
something missing in your quant at that point of time. And I think that's when I came in, and we kind of started working together in
Right.
LM. So take me through what we did first, how we kind of analyzed your ESR, and what we did post that.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see that my quant score was low because I had put in so much of my focus and energy on the verbal section. Definitely, there was room for improvement in the quant section.
Yeah.
And once it was you actually who reached out to me I was just again doing it on my own. So you saw that potential of that improvement in my score. And once I shared my ESR with you, so we analyzed all of the things with respect to timing and my ability on the different sections. So timing per se, you told me that your timing is probably not an issue. It's about fine tuning those particular sections, or those particular weakness areas that you have, and
Hmm.
they are visible. They're pretty much, you could identify those weakness areas in my ESR. So post that, like you gave me sort of a pathway to how we should go about this, how we can target those particular weaker areas. And
Hmm.
you just like changed how I was again approaching the GMAT with a proper plan. Now I was doing it with a personalized approach. I'm with a plan in mind. So,
Got it.
and with key milestones along the way. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
that was
makes
like
that
really
makes
great
all
to
the
hear.
difference. Yeah, milestones, hitting each milestone, kind of
Hmm.
improving your likelihood of success. I mean, that's what the LM program is about. Let's talk a
Right,
little
right.
bit about the quant course because we worked extensively, I remember, on number properties, word problems, advanced topics, and geometry, right? Just the
Right,
courses
right.
as an itself. Now, you're a person who scored a
Mhm.
Q49 before, right? So you were
Right.
already at a certain level. Let's not take that away from you for a second. But you did these
Mhm.
courses. I mean, I forced you to do
Right, right.
them. uh,
Right.
what
Yeah.
was your experience using these courses and what kind of worked for you?
Yeah. So I think I hadn't gone through the Quant course of e-GMAT platform till that time. So I was not. I was thinking like it will be about just there'll be some concepts and there'll be some uh, application files like we had it for verbal.
Hmm.
So, but when I went through those Quant courses, I could see that it starts with the very basic foundations, and all of those are built along in the platform. And it's very, I would say, Quant section is very flexible. I mean, it gives you the option of there's a diagnostic test right at the beginning of any section, and if you are good enough, like if you have, like I was at Q49 score, and if I feel that I'm good at that section, I can take that diagnostic test, and it would immediately tell me that you don't need to go through these files. You're already at that particular level. You can choose to skip those files. And at the same time, like if I feel that I'm not good enough, if the platform tells me, so it's very extensive that to there to provide all of those relevant concepts, and I can go through those concepts and quiz files. So it was like, I would say it's very extensive and very flexible, and it's, I think it's quite a there are quite a lot of good things embedded into the quant course. Like there are some play cards based testing where they tell you a concept and they
Hmm.
give you some sort of play cards, and you have to, it's like swipe
Yeah,
right or left, which we are used
yeah,
to nowadays. So you just put those into correct incorrect sections, and there are so many learnings along the way. There are very very small things which are embedded,
yeah.
so that gives you those test your concepts right through the course.
Got it.
So it's really good. I mean, con course is amazing.
I love the swipe left and right feature too. It's a very
Right,
nice quiz. I think you working on quant is a testament to the fact that even a person with Q49 can show definite ability improvement, and you did improve to Q50.
right.
Um,
Q50.
for me, I think that's very, very important. Now, tell me, I want you to talk about the LM program, right? So a little bit about the LM program, where in which you're using the course as such. The LM program is nothing out of the box, but what is the difference between you just studying from the course yourself and being inducted into the LM program? What made that real difference for you? And do you have some examples of our engagement that you'd like to share?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. So, starting on your own, you don't see are able to see clearly like where you're going with with per se with your preparation. Are you doing it in the right way?
Yeah.
I mean, surely you can figure it out over on a question, but taking a broader level view of like how you're approaching the GMAT preparation. So I think the LM program was very beneficial in that way because it gave me a structured approach towards my prep. I mean, I remember that we had a lot of milestones along the way. I mean, we had milestones every week during our LM
We
program.
did. Yeah.
So yeah. So used to give me like you have to cover this section in 5 days or 3 days. So that kept me aligned. That kept me sort of accountable towards completing those. So that was not there when I was studying at my own. Studying, you have that luxury. You take it, you just do it in your own way. But when
Yeah.
you have that particular thing to do it in a particular sort of a particular amount of time, so you really align towards completing that particular module. So
Hmm.
it was about focusing on each of those modules every week, and slowly getting there to completing a one particular section, and then probably covering all of the topics in a one section, uh, and then taking a test to test all of those learnings collectively. So that was big difference. So it was all about getting identifying those weaknesses. When you used to focus on one particular section, you get to know, okay, this is particular area that is really my weak area. So I remember one incident, like I was going through the word problem section, and the questions were so hard. I mean, the hard level cementing stage, it was so hard for me. I mean, I just could not get past it. Like I was thinking, like, these questions probably won't even come on the GMAT, but why am I doing this? Why am I doing, why is DJ is forcing me to go through this stage? So I mean, it was a lot of pain. I could just not meet that particular deadline in that particular week. And I just like simply wrote back to you, okay, I have done this cementing, even though I had not crossed that target score which you had given me. But I just wrote back to you that I've done this particular cementing stage. But then you were very, any critical in your feedback. Like, have you really done this? You really forced me to think, like, this is this is your weak area. You have to get past it. You have to work on it.
Hmm.
So I did eventually. I did get past that section, and it was definitely one of my weak areas. The word problems, they have these 2 3 lines. It was taking me a lot of time reading those, comprehending those lines.
Hmm.
So that build up sort of stamina for the other sections as well. So
Got it.
this is one incident where I'd say, like, things worked differently when I was in the LM program.
Interesting. Interesting. I think a more underrated part of the LM program is also that when you take mocks, you kind of get that real time video feedback on how your mocks have gone. And what is your
Mhm.
experience of that, taking those mocks and getting that feedback? And how critical do you think is it to really analyze a mock?
Yeah, it's very important to analyze not only your mock. I mean, your other sections, the small quizzes that you're taking. So throughout the LM program, sorry, there was some cementing quizzes that I took, and there were some other quizzes as well, custom quizzes that I
Hmm.
took. So it is very important to analyze those. I used to spend approximately 10 to 15 minutes on one question. Uh, because it takes a lot of it if you're looking at the problem from different perspectives, it
Hmm.
prepares you for other other questions as well. So probably this question might come differently in this way. So
True.
analyzing your mocks is like really really important, because that is where your improvement will come from.
Got
So
it.
once talking about like e-GMAT, so I think there is no better analysis that can be that you can have for a particular mock exam. I mean, the analysis provided by the e-GMAT mocks are really awesome. I mean, I feel that they model the actual GMAT very well,
They do.
and all of those concepts, like the blocks, the timings,